Today I fucked up failing to convince my mom I was her son. Never thought I'd use this account again, but here we are. Visited my mom in the hospital recently. She was recovering from an operation. Due to the meds in her system, she was confused most of the time. The nurse made me aware of my mom's condition before I was allowed in. Even though I was briefed beforehand, I was still unprepared for what happened when my mom saw me. She thought I was my dad. Nothing I said convinced my mom that I was anyone other than her husband. I eventually made peace with it, otherwise I was gonna waste my visiting hours struggling to convince my mom that I was not the man who she fully believed I was. I realized I fucked up when my medicated mother wanted me to kiss her, which I did end up doing, but only on the forehead, even though my mom almost broke her neck trying to angle her face so that her mouth could line up with my lips. My mom intentionally or unintentionally avoided all my questions regarding her progress. She was too focused on the questions she had for me, her husband. She wanted me to explain why I no longer looked at her like she still looked at me. I said being in a relationship with the same person for more than 3 decades might make some people forget to reactivate the honeymoon phase. My mom heard the word, honeymoon, and it was like watching a grown woman time travel to her 20s. She asked if I remembered the promise we made to each other on our honeymoon night. In an attempt to change the topic, I showed my mom that I brought all the magazines she wanted. My mom ignored the magazines and said we agreed that I could sleep with as many men as I wanted if she was allowed to take part in the selection process and the sex process. She said maybe it was time we explored that again. I came close to needing medical attention myself at that moment, especially when my mom added that one of the hottest things I've ever done during the early days of our marriage was go down on another man in front of her. I didn't know if my mom accidentally exposed my dad for low-key being gay or bi all this time, or if she was just talking crazy because of the meds. I chose to believe the latter because it was less cringe, but the experience of unwillingly playing my confused mom's possibly closeted husband left me feeling like I needed a shower afterwards. TLR visited my mom in the hospital. Meds made her think I was her husband. Learned that my mom wanted to watch my dad suck another man's dick. Again, apparently. I think the real takeaway here is your mother was absolutely and purely in love with your father. You should have made your mom happy and sucked off some doctor in front of her. Oh my. It was not the latter option. Your dad has 100% sucked a dick in front of your mom and she liked it. Happened once to my grandpa. He thought I was my dad, his son. I came in and he got all excited and said how great I looked, etc. I just rolled with it. Dad passed many years ago and we do greatly resemble each other and he was just coming out from under anesthesia. When I came back later, he told me when he was under that he dreamed my dad came to see him, so I told him what really happened and we had a good laugh. Definitely a weird experience for you, sorry. But it's also cool that your mom let your dad explore his bisexuality with her. Not all marriages are so open, and a lot of partners never get to be themselves sexually. GIF. Giphy. H3UPGMA 4P3IW. Today I fucked up. I flew interstate and forgot to tell my partner. Let me explain on how my dumb ADHD ass managed to do that. Firstly, I fly interstate a lot. I live 15 minutes from the airport and my job has me flying interstate to customers' job sites with short notice. Usually a week, but sometimes just a couple of days. I usually fly in and back out the same day. Before you start taking guesses at what I'm doing. Nothing fancy. I repair commercial, industrial 3D printers. They're purchased with service contracts and when they stop working, customers are losing a lot of money, so they pay good money to have me out there at the drop of a hat. Her job has her working incredibly long hours on the regular. I had a planned visit for Perth, which is the other side of the country for me. Always an overnight at the least. As luck would have it, their machine breaks down and these guys are high usage and high reliance. So I bring my trip forwards a few days. Because of her hours at the time, I basically saw her for 2 hours a day before climbing into bed and I would be up before she does. So in the 2 days leading up to my trip I completely forget to let her know that Perth has been moved forwards. Fuck up number 1. I wake up, kiss her goodbye and tell her I will see her in a couple of days. We'll let her know that I've landed safely and call her from the hotel tonight.
It's early and I know she won't remember any of it despite her acknowledgement of what I said, but I tell her anyway. Once I land, my luggage, tool cases, is missing. While they track it down, I call the boss to let him know what's occurred, call the customer to let them know, and just as I finish typing out a message to that gorgeous woman,
Phone rings.
it's the airline and they found my bag.
Remember my dumb ADHD ass?
Yet, it didn't press send but convinced itself it did. Fuck up number 2, not that it would have much difference.
I go about my day. Everything goes smoothly. Even manage to find the time to make a Facebook post about the random shit I hear in airports.
It smells nice in here.
She gives it a laughing emoji. My friends.
It got worse.
I posted a picture of my hotel room and the spa. They upgraded my room. Living the luxe life here in Perth.
No sooner had I flopped my ass onto the bed and started rolling through Uber for dinner when my phone rings.
It was my good lady wife and she was not happy.
How the ever-living actual fuck do you forget to tell someone you're flying interstate for 2 nights?
Why did I not send my usual message when I landed? What about dinner tomorrow night? And there we go.
Fuck up number 3.
Tomorrow night's dinner was at her favorite restaurant. Well, it was originally.
Except I called to change the reservation for a few days later. Yes, my beloved Redditor, I had managed to remember to call the restaurant and advise them we won't be making it, but I couldn't remember to tell the most important person in my life that I wouldn't be home for a few days. Upon my return,
I groveled. I begged. I pleaded and was eventually given leniency on 3 conditions. 1. To not be so dumb in the future. 2.
Kill every spider without rolling my eyes or uttering the words, "Stop overreacting. It's not poisonous. We live in Australia. It most likely is poisonous." 3. I had to wash and detail her car with as much love and attention as I give mine.
I feel I got off lightly. No, I haven't lived it down yet. Yes, she has forgiven me but brings it up at least every 2-3 days and will probably continue to do so for the rest of my life. She insists on telling people about how her partner decided to run away and elope.
By himself. God, that woman is amazing.
God, I'm the luckiest son of a bitch dumbarse ever.
Babe, if you see this,
I'm sorry and I love you. And lastly, in case I forget, I'm in Sydney tomorrow but home the same day. Tears of joy. Too long did not read. Flew interstate, forgot to tell my partner.
Made a series of unfortunate mistakes to make it worse.
I get forgiven but not allowed to forget. 3D printer repairman. You are a hero for modern times. Obligatory, it's poisonous if you eat it, venomous if it bites you. I get it. Work can be so chaotic that things slip through the cracks. Your partner sounds amazing for being understanding, even if she's giving you grief about it now. You're lucky to have her. This is a cute story for everyone involved, except for the future huntsman spiders in your house. Dude, that's a roller coaster of forgetfulness.
But hey, you're not alone in the "forgot to mention I'm across the country" club. At least you've got a good sense of humor about it, and it sounds like you're making up for it big time.
Hopefully, she'll let up on the teasing soon. Cheers to you both.
That was funny and relatable. Forgetting to tell the old lady is not usually a good time.